going on, everybody? This is Matt Does Fitness, and the other day I was eating a pack of animal crackers when I noticed on the box it said, "Do not eat if seal is broken." And I thought to myself, well, the giraffe was alright. Okay, right, today I'm going to talk to you about some fairly staggering, groundbreaking news which a lot of you probably already know, and that is that I am officially taking creatine. Up until recently, protein was the only kind of proper supplement that I ever took. I actually discussed this fairly recently in a video. Now, to be honest, the reason I have never taken creatine is largely down to ignorance. I was under the impression that it was expensive, and I also thought there were numerous kind of side effects and risks involved. I kind of allowed myself to be swayed by kind of popular opinion and kind of things that tend to float around in gyms and stuff, which a lot of the time are based on pretty much no fact whatsoever. So, a friend of mine was talking to me about it recently. I did a bit of research, quite a lot of research. I spent a good hour kind of researching online, read numerous studies, and to my kind of shock, I realised, or I discovered there have never been any kind of side effects or risks that have ever been proven as a result of taking creatine. They've done long-term studies on people that have taken it religiously for a long period of time, and there's been no, like kidney damage or any other kind of damage that people tend to associate with creatine. So that was the first thing that made me think, well, wait a minute, maybe it's worth taking. I then had a look around, and again, to my amazement, it is ridiculously cheap. So I've got myself some. I ordered 500 grams of this, and it cost me £10. Now, that's going to last me over 3 months. So we're talking about 3.5 months for £10, which is literally, that's ridiculously cheap. So the fact there are no side effects and it's very, very cheap, it's kind of like a no-brainer. Obviously if I take it and nothing happens, then it doesn't make a difference, and obviously if it works, then fantastic. Now, whilst I was reading the studies, I was pretty surprised. I mean, to be honest, it's kind of, the feedback, the research is almost overwhelmingly positive. I mean, there were studies where some of the athletes that were being tested were making pretty significant strength and power gains as a result of taking the creatine. Now, when it comes to these kind of studies, I tend to be a little bit pessimistic because for two reasons. I mean, firstly, I think there is definitely always a little bit of a placebo effect, definitely, and I also think they tend to, or they can sometimes use like athletes who haven't actually had that much training experience, and so when they're put in like a regimented environment with like a structured training plan, they're going to make pretty significant strength gains anyway, so it's hard to say what you can attribute to the creatine and what you can attribute to the training. But that said, there were numerous studies I read that had literally two groups running simultaneously of similar training experience, similar backgrounds, and the guys that were taking creatine compared to the guys that were not, they had a placebo, so they all thought they were taking creatine. The guys on creatine made, in some cases, very significant strength gains over a period of time. So it's kind of like I said, it's basically a no-brainer. I mean, for the £10 for 3 months, no risks, and a large chance it could be very helpful towards my strength gains. Obviously, I'm going to do it. So, like I said, ordered it the other day. Now, the next part, or the next kind of thing to think about for me was how I'm going to take it, when I'm going to take it, all these kind of things. Now, if you research this, you will find all kinds of contradicting information about this. So, I've now discovered a lot of it is, again, like myths, and a lot of it is based on, again, no research. So, the biggest one is that they'll tell you, or especially, so I mean, even here, on the back, I'm not going to tell you where I got it, you can probably figure out where I got it from. I don't want to give them free advertising all the time, but you can see, on the back of this bag, it tells you to take 5 grams 2 or 3 times a day. Now, that's 15 grams a day. It says to take that continuously. Now, that's basically unnecessary. I'm going to be taking 5 grams a day. Now, you can do like a loading phase where you take, I think, upwards of 15 or 20 grams of creatine a day. You can do that for a couple of weeks, and that obviously helps get you saturated quickly. But to be honest, it's not really necessary, and in the case of these companies, a lot of the time, it's a scam. They're obviously trying to get you to use their product more and more and more, so you obviously run through it quicker and then you go and then buy more. In the same way that a toothpaste company might show a little fat kid putting like a massive amount of toothpaste on their brush to get you to put loads of toothpaste on your brush and then get through the toothpaste and go and buy more from the same company. It is, like I said, a scam. So I have done my research. I believe that you can do a loading phase, but as long as you're patient, there's no need to do it, and you're going to save money in the long run. So I'll be doing 5 grams a day for the foreseeable future. I believe it's meant to take kind of 2 to 3 weeks for your creatine levels to be kind of saturated, and at that point you should start, or I should hopefully start to see improvements. So that's my plan, 5 grams a day. The next topic is the timings, so when you take it during the day. There are people that will say you have to take it before sessions, and there are people that are adamant you must take it immediately after your sessions. And again, the research I've done seems to suggest that there is no massive benefit to be had from doing it at any particular time. Now you can, there is some kind of loose research that says if you take it before your sessions, it's more geared towards performance during your sessions, and if you take it after your sessions, it's more geared towards potential strength gains. But the overwhelming evidence I've seen suggests that it doesn't really matter. I mean, I personally, obviously my priority is strength gains, and if it doesn't really matter, then it doesn't matter, so I'm going to take it afterwards. I'll be on it for 4 days now, I think. And like I said, I'm just taking 5 grams a day in the evening, so probably a few hours after my session, but I'm not too worried about the exact timing of that. And if I do have to take it in the morning or before training, I don't think it's a disaster. The other thing was some people saying you should take it with like a high carbohydrate or like a sugar source to help your body absorb it. Again, you can do that, but again, there's no kind of overwhelming evidence that suggests you need to do that. I think it's to do with like your insulin spike and the fact that it's going to make it more easily absorbed. But to be honest, I'm eating a lot of food a lot of the time. I'm eating a lot of high carbohydrate food a lot of the time, so I would imagine it's not going to make a massive difference if I eat it with loads of sugar or if I don't. But again, the time I'm having it tends to coincide with my meals anyway, so that should kind of go hand in hand. Yeah, so I thought that rather than just tell you about how I'm taking it, I will show you. So I trained a couple of hours ago. I've had a couple of protein shakes today already, and now I'm going to do my creatine. So what I will do is I will turn on my scales, and like I said, I'm going for 5 grams a day, which initially is quite weird. It's quite hard for me to get my head around because I'm used to taking 30 grams or so of protein, which is obviously a much larger amount. That's way too much. So at the moment I'm terrible at weighing out my creatine. I've got incredibly good at gauging my protein, so I'll get a cup, I'll scoop it out of the protein, put it on the scales, and I get it bang on 30 grams almost every time. So if there's some kind of competition you can enter for gauging weight of powders, that sounds suspicious, then I'm going to be in contention. I'm trying to get 5 grams. 5 grams, boom. So 5 grams of creatine. I'm literally just mixing it with water. Again, I was surprised to discover that it's completely tasteless. You literally mix it with water, you can't taste it, it just tastes of water. So do that. The other thing was that, only thing I noticed that is if you don't mix it sufficiently and then you drink it, it's disgusting. It's kind of like paracetamol, it gets stuck around your mouth, so obviously you've got to shake it pretty vigorously. Brandon Campbell's pretty good at doing this. For the purpose of the video, I'll just leave it there. And that is that. So 5 grams a day. The last thing is that, and this is the only thing I'm undecided on, is that I've read a lot of research, or a lot of, I've read a lot of kind of people's opinions, and they say that you should cycle your creatine. So you do, like, for example, 8 weeks on, you have a week off, and then you come back again. And again, I've read other things that say that is completely unnecessary, and again, it's just a bit of a myth. So I'm still undecided on that, but I've got another 7.5 weeks to decide if I'm going to do that or not, so it's not an issue. At the moment, I'm kind of thinking that I might not bother cycling it, and that I might just take it like continuously, but like I said, I've got a while to decide that, so I'll think about it, I'll do more research, I'll ask more people, and I'll see what they say. But that's that. I just thought I'd update you on that. I'm quite interested, I'm pretty excited to see what happens. I mean, I'm not expecting like miracles, but obviously, hopefully I could get some pretty decent strength gains as a result of this. I will keep documenting how it's going. Obviously, you know, if I'm getting stronger, if I'm getting heavier, I can put them on more bulk, then I'll let you know about it. I'm quite interested to see. But that's that really. So, if you have any experience with creatine, you know, if you've taken creatine before, if you've had any positive or negative stories as a result of that, if you do, you know, certain things that you found work for you, I'm very, very interested to hear that. So please let me know your experiences and your opinions on it. And if you have any kind of, you know, proof or results to back that up, that would be fantastic. Hope you enjoyed the video, guys. Please like, comment, share, subscribe, as always, and I will see you tomorrow.